Thank you, Joby. I know Barry did this. Last year, around May or June, we did a big social media day where we brought in speakers, we had lunch, like it was a big, big day event. So this year, we're looking at doing that again, and it's likely going to be on AI. So I will find out if there's going to be a segment of that day that we can have specific for admins. And if not, can they do something for us on the side, even if it's after the fact? Because I know that, I mean, I would still encourage everybody coming on that day, but if there's something specific for you guys, I think that that would be also very helpful. Okay, so we've got the AI, and then the next one was client thank you gifts, which I was interested to see because we did talk about that last year. So I'm interested because I know obviously you guys want to get more ideas, or maybe those that weren't available last year for that meeting missed out. So we can definitely add that in. And then we've got command using smart plans. So the next one, 4 people did command using campaigns. So I wanted to find out from you guys, do we want to have one of our masterminds where we get Carlos in and he'll do a training session specifically on those topics? Or would you prefer to still be a mastermind where you're hearing from other admins? What would you guys prefer?
I think for me, what I'd like to see is maybe a little bit of both, Carlos and some of the other admins. I know I've tried running a few smart plans and we ended up finding out they didn't even go through.
Okay.
So I'm
well, maybe
not sure if there was like a glitch or.
We could do Carlos to come for part of it because it is an hour-and-a-half class. So we can get Carlos to come for part of it and then we can move into the mastermind. Would that work? Okay. And then Joby, obviously, if you're able to join on Google Meet like you do as well, I think that would bring value because you may have other ideas that you can share. Okay. Carlos and Mastermind. Okay. The 5th one was mastering data and reporting. Do you guys remember what that topic was? I don't even remember that one.
I have no idea.
I don't even remember I think it might have to do with command and reports in command and for teams and or individual agents, how they work and don't work.
Teams and mastering data and reporting in Excel and Google Sheets. Okay, so that was high on the list as well as number 5.
I always use Google Sheets.
Me too.
Every time I get Excel, I just get stuck. I'm like, oh, I've done something I can't undo it now.
Mhm.
I love it. So,
Yeah.
I usually get a master at Excel, so if I need something done, you just does it because it'll take way too long to try to teach me how to do it.
So would it be beneficial to have a class on specifically just Excel or Google Sheet to learn some basic things that you can then take back and implement?
I would probably find some value in that personally, but
Yeah.
I don't know. But do we-
What about everybody on the phone? Would you like a Google Sheet or Excel day as one of our topics? Yeah, Caitlin, you're good.
I'd be okay with it.
Okay. Okay. And then we've got the AI for admin. And we have client thank you gift. And then we've got the neuro-linguistic programming and gifts. And so neuro-linguistic programming, that is a class that we're looking to get on the calendar in general. Ashley Taylor is certified to teach that. There's somebody else that we're also looking at that could also be a potential contender. So would you guys be good if that was just an entire market center class that we would offer, or would you still want it to be segmented in the admin mastermind world?
Just out of curiosity, what does that mean?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I can't answer.
Honestly, I'd have to Google what NLP really is all about. Something about how the brain works, how you have conversations or something with people. I don't know.
I mean, proper wording or certain words trigger certain.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
not sure either, so that when we have admin-centered stuff, because when you have it as like the brokerage thing, it seems to be
Yep.
geared towards agents
The agent.
specifically.
Okay,
So to have it,
And then
there's a
that-
lot of agent questions and
right.
conversations that.
Okay. Okay, so I can look at doing just more of a smaller group session for the admin. If you guys are good, we'll look at that. And then that might be easy for Ashley to come in here and just, talk for half an hour or something like that on it. Kind of like how Suzanne did that disc assessment for it. Okay. So we'll do NLP. What was the other one that was high? Effective meeting planning, and was that the one that it was? Effective meeting planning and facilitation. Do we remember what that would have been covering? Would that be team meeting? Do you guys feel like we need to talk about how to properly structure a team meeting? No?
We're not corporate anymore.
Did you say you're not corporate
Not
anymore?
corporate anymore.
Okay. Katie's nodding her head though, so she might be good for that. Anything else stick out on this list that you guys are? Please let's do that, even though there may not have been some high topic or high vote for it. Client, thank you, Jess. Client event. Yeah, we could, yep. So is that good? You guys want to review that again? Yeah, okay. Okay, so we have April, May, June, we take summer off. September, October, November, so that will be 6 classes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got 6. So we've got command. We'll bring in Carlos and then we'll do a mastermind after that. I've got an AI admin mastermind, client thank you gift, client event, Excel and Google Sheets, and then NLP. How does that sound for the year? Is something missing or is that a good kind of topic? Yeah, Nikki's like, I don't care. No, I love information. Okay, is there any priority of order that you guys want to see this? Like, okay, so I'm gonna ask you, client thank you gifts. Is there a certain time of the year that you feel that is heavier on your plate? Or is that something you guys do that throughout the entire year? Entire year.
Yeah, we're the same on David's team. We kind of do it throughout the year.
What about client events? Are those typically throughout the year as well? Or do you focus in the fall or spring, not spring, but do you focus it maybe more when the market isn't as busy?
Maybe thinking a year ahead. I
Okay,
think probably towards the end of the year, so maybe thinking of next year.
okay.
That makes sense.
We want to do client events that near like Q3, September, October, November.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, we're early part of the year for Dave's team.
Okay. Would we want to then do client thank you gifts 1 month and then the events the next, have kind of those back to back? Or you don't care? No? Okay. The AI admin, so I'll find out when we're going to be looking at that AI day, who the speakers are, and if they can also take into another segment for us. Because depending on the speakers, if they're local, just get them here twice, I'm thinking. So I can confirm that one and see if that would work there. NLP, I'll find out from Ashley if she's got time that works for her schedule, so we can schedule that around her schedule, if that's okay with you guys. And then Excel, Google Sheet, I think we just fit that in whenever, if that's okay. And then Command Smart Plans. Would you guys want the Command Smart Plans and campaigns to be one of the more like upcoming, like do that April or May? Like which one on this list do you think is your highest priority? Aside from AI. I know. Yeah, because that one we're kind of stuck with the speaker. So do we want to do command next month?
What are our options?
So we've got command, AI, client thank you gift, client events, NLP, and Excel and Google Sheet.
I personally would like client event. because we want to do like an intro for the year and we to queue up. I did sooner than later.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So do we want me to move the client events to next month then? We'll do that one in April. Okay. All right, we'll do that one in April.
The two command things, they're gonna combine them into one.
I can.
I'm just wondering,
Unless you
because
wanna
I
do it
actually
on-
don't use the smart plans,
Okay.
but I would be interested in the campaign. I'm just curious if it's gonna be one.
And really,
That's
they
all.
don't take that long.
So we could do both.
Oh, easy.
Okay. Okay, so let's combine them.
We're not agents.
Okay, so we'll do client events in April. AI will likely be May or June. So why don't we do command either May or June, depending on scheduling. And then in the fall, we've got client events, Google Sheet, Excel, and the NLP. That sound good? Okay. All right. You guys good on the phone as well with that? I'll send out an email to summarize, like, okay, these are going to be the events throughout the year, so everybody knows. And if you're not using command and you don't want to come to that class, that's okay too. I respect that. But if you want to come anyway, just maybe your team is considering transitioning over. I know Karun's like, no, not
I
good.
do, we have used campaigns though, so I'd be interested in that, just not the smart.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay, if there's any other topics that you guys come up with like throughout the year and you're like, Don, this is more of a hot topic, let's shelve Google Sheets and Excel for something else because that's more of a priority, we can do that as well. Like this class is really all about what's best for you guys, so I'll change whatever we gotta do. Okay. All right, so that's what I wanted to go over with the results. And then what I wanted to do for the rest of the meeting is just really turn it into a mastermind on what's going on in your world. What do you want to talk about with everybody here? What challenges are you having? What do you want to hear from other people that maybe you guys can look at implementing in your business? So who wants to go first and just kind of talk about, is there something that they want to pick each other's brains on? Okay, what's your biggest pain point right now in your team? Whether it's your team lead, your team members, software you're using, challenges on hiring people, what's your biggest pain point right now? Pardon? All of the above.
No,
Mary?
All of the above.
Right.
Like depending on the day, depending what we're doing.
Okay.
It's for sure, because command is not admin friendly. They're working on that. They used to.
Totally agree with Mary.
Systems, Amy? Or you're saying just everything in general?
I agree with Mary in certain aspects that there are certain things that are very difficult to run through as an admin.
Okay, what does that mean to you?
Well, for me, I have in a struggle path with trying to run campaign ads and getting our stuff pulled through. There's even certain aspects where I've actually had to make sure to go on Dave's team profile to make sure I'm included on the opportunities so that I can have access through my own file. So I don't know if there's a setting there that's not set properly. I'm trying to think of some of the other examples I've had, but they're not coming to mind right now.
Okay. Jovi, do you have a quick solution for that? Oh, Mary?
Sorry, just,
Yep.
are you on as an assignee for your opportunity? When you create your opportunity, do you add yourself as an assignee?
If I do it through mine, yes. But
And that's-
if Dave or Trevor set it up and they don't do that, then I don't have access.
Are they setting it up under a team or are they setting up under their personal account?
Team.
You should have access if they add you to it.
Okay.
Okay. You should be added to every opportunity that's created, whether they do it and add you or you do it and add yourself.
Yeah.
As an assignee.
Signing.
Okay.
So would that be the first thing that she should double check, is go through all those
All the opportunities.
on?
Log in as Dave, because he's the team leader, and you'll be able to see everything. And then just go in and add yourself to whatever you've got in the queue.
Now, if I change her access and command to Rainmaker, can she not log in?
You will be able to see everything, but if you're not on as an assignee, those notifications that the system sends out saying you're missing this or we need this, we don't get it unless you're on as an assignee, whether you're a Rainmaker or not.
But if she's got Rainmaker command access, could she not log in and put the assignee anyway?
Yeah.
Okay, so she may not necessarily have to use Dave's login. Okay, so I
Can
can
you-
also look at,
Sorry, can you go in afterwards and add someone as an assignee? Because I haven't figured that one out yet.
Yes, you can go in anytime and add somebody else. So
Okay,
if you don't have Rainmaker capability, then you have to go in as the Rainmaker to do it.
You can also go in and make sure that they can't do it on their personal account.
Yes.
Turn it off so that it always goes automatically under the team.
and in that, then you can only have,
The Rainmaker can do that.
okay. So what we're talking about, in case somebody doesn't know this, is when you are added to a team, the SCA on the back end, add whether it's a team member or an admin, adds you to the team, there is there is a status that we add you as, like a buyer's agent or an admin, and those have different access. We have in the past added some of our admins as Rainmaker status. So then that admin, like Mary, for example, Mary has the same access as Tracy has. But then I know on the team side, then there's other access you can also add to people that you guys see. So Amy, for you, I can look at what I've got you set up on the back end for command access. And if you're not as Rainmaker, I can change it. That has no bearing on your team status in command for awards. So if you're showing as a Rainmaker and you're an admin, you're not going to all of a sudden change your team to a group, Amy, okay? You're not, because you're not 3 selling agents. You're still an admin on the team. Okay, it's the command access that we're changing. Okay, and then so Caitlin and Ruth, if there's access that you need that you don't have, reach out to your MCA. Caitlin, I can't remember, are you Toronto or Barrie? You're Barrie, right?
Barry.
Yeah.
Heather's
And
here.
then
I'm at the office today, so I'll connect with her.
yeah, and you, I think you guys have already been announced that you have a new MCA. Yes. Yeah, she's there today.
Yeah.
I hope they've announced her. Usually it is.
No, no, they didn't. You know how sometimes people don't see the emails. And Ruth is at the physical KW Advantage office, so she probably will see Rochelle more than at the brokerage. So, yeah. Okay.
And I just wondered if you could call me when it's closed or when your check's ready, because I'll come pick the check up.
Any other questions about command campaigns, Amy, that you have, or does anybody else have them? Ruth?
Yeah, it's not a question about campaigns, but it is a question about the reporting in command. Has anybody actually got those reporting things to work? Because it will not send an email to save my life. I have tried and tried and tried and tried to get the reporting to work properly, and not a single one of my agents has ever received a request for the daily reporting emails, not once. And I've been trying for over a month now. I tried reaching out to command assistants. I tried reaching out to labs. I even brought it up when I was at family reunion in Las Vegas, and nobody has been able to figure it out yet. So I'm wondering has anybody got any success with this? And if they haven't, and they've just basically threw their hands up in the air and said, I'm done with this, is there a better way to get your reporting done? Because I'm finding my agents are going, yay, it's free for all, and I don't actually have to tell anybody what I'm doing.
Okay, so Joby, when you're available, if you can pop back on. In the meantime, what are you guys doing then if reporting is not working? How are you providing reports? Are you providing reports?
I don't even know what feature is.
I don't either.
It's within the system. The agents can actually go in and say the results they've made, what they've done, da, da, da. and it's kind of
Oh, yeah, mine don't do that at all.
Ours don't do it. We have a Google form. They used to do it. They don't do it anymore. And I'm the only one that does reporting on a weekly basis. All our numbers for the whole team.
So how do you grab your reports or your items that you're going to report
Well,
on?
for us, it's strictly commission, deals done, stuff like that, which as I process deals, it just goes on my sheet anyway. So-
Okay, so because you've been tracking it as the deal's progressing, you already have that tracked somewhere.
The
You're not
only-
relying on data from.
Oh, I wouldn't trust my agents as far as I can throw them.
No.
But also we don't know the calls they're making or the connections they've got unless they've got a bra sign or something, like unless they're handing in paperwork. We don't necessarily know what they're doing and how they're doing.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm trying to get a little more granular on because, you know, I know that pinning agents down and getting them to report every single thing that they do every day is like trying to catch a herd of wild cats while they're chasing butterflies. So it's almost impossible, but I would like to have a little bit more data on what it is that they're doing. So if they say they're going door knocking, like, can you just let me know that you actually did it rather than me having to follow up 3 weeks later saying, hey, I still see a stack of paper on your desk. Did you go? Or I know you were supposed to make 5 telephone calls because I started setting things up in Command because Smart Plans and I are not friends. All the tasks, like individual tasks, and I'm going through all the contacts, setting up individual tasks. But I can see every day the numbers going from like, there's 15 tasks to do. There's 35 tasks to do. There's 97 tasks to do and nobody's doing them. So I want to create a sense of responsibility and accountability to get them done. So if they keep getting these emails to their inbox saying, hey, report your activity for the day, that way I can at least keep them accountable to what it is that I'm spending my time doing, which is creating all of these tasks in Command until I figure out how to make Smart Plans work the way that I want it to.
So is this the dashboard you guys are referring to?
Yeah,
Yep.
reports and dashboard.
And so educate me, where would you go to run your reports?
So it's actually on if you go to the settings section.
Like here?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. And it should be in Command settings and reporting, activity tracking. Cannot get it to work.
So this is where you would program it. Like
Just send
here's
out.
where you program for the report to send out.
Should be.
Mhm. And it will
And
not
it's
send an email. I have double checked, triple checked everybody's emails. Nothing. I even tried it on mine to set it like in my own personal Command account, not the Rainmaker account, to set up so that it would send me an email to report my activity. Don't get it.
Mhm.
So I don't know if it's a flaw in the system. I don't know if it's not a Canadian thing because, you know, why would it be? Yeah. So anyways, I'm looking for alternatives on how people get people to report their agent activity. It's not sounding like we're having great success with that right now.
Okay, so any suggestions? What are you guys doing or with your team?
Mine, they self-report just before our team meeting and then they review it as a team meeting. And then I take it later and I put it in my own Excel sheet. So it'll calculate where they are percentage wise based on where we are in the year as well. And if they're meeting, if we're at 23% through the year, are they at that 23% with their goals?
So you're putting the onus on them to come to the meeting with the data that you know you need from them to do.
Yeah.
And you hold them accountable, and if they don't do it, then that's a conversation the team lead has to have.
Yes.
Barb, or not Barb, Ruth, is that an option for you guys? How many agents are on your team? 4,
Just
3?
3. Yeah.
And that including Barb?
That includes Barb. Yeah.
Does Barb give you data? Okay. Okay, so if you
Nobody will give me data. And even if I say, okay, Like, how many appointments did you go on this week? I can track Barb's numbers because all of her appointments are in my calendar, right? So like, okay, cool. I've got her, so she technically doesn't need to report. But how many new contacts did you make? I have currently banned my agents from adding any contacts into Command themselves, because it took me 3 years to get the system to any semblance of organization. And so I'm expecting them to send them to me, and every Friday I send them a message. Hey guys, can you send me any new contacts that you got? And I'm still not getting anything. So I want to try and put the onus on them. And that's why I was trying to use these reports instead of me having to chase them around going, hey guys, I need something here, anything. And they say, oh yeah, I went on appointments last week. I got no
Do
proof.
you have visibility of their calendar?
No. Everybody has their own calendars. I only run Barb's calendar.
Are there
I
calendars
could make a
through?
team. I thought about making a team calendar, but the logistics of that is so difficult for how our team runs. Like it won't work. So again, it goes back to the whole self-reporting thing, right? If I expect you to put your appointments into the calendar, I'm never going to get anything. It'll be a act of futility to create the calendar and then ask them to do it, because I can't even get them to report. How am I supposed to get them to insert their appointments?
Do they put their appointments on their own calendar?
Mhm.
1 o'clock listing
That was
presentation,
gonna be my question.
because could they just add you as an attendee on the calendar appointment, and then you're gonna get a notification? Because I'll be honest, that's what Shannon does. Shannon, so my husband's a realtor here, anytime he has an open house or appointment, he always copies me on it, so then I know when he's out of the house for like our family planning. But could that work? And I get, Ruth, it sounds like getting your people to do anything is gonna be a challenge, but if they're already adding their calendar invite onto their own calendar, just adding you as well, maybe that's,
Or they can share the calendar. If it's like Google,
yeah.
you can share the calendar and you can just see it. And then that you can select, and you don't want to see
Do they
it.
use a Google Calendar?
I think all three of them use Gmail, so they can use Google Calendar. I'd say that's probably where they do it. Again, like I'm not 100%, so.
Yeah. And to your point, yes, they could share the calendar with you if they are comfortable with that. Because then you're gonna see everything.
Yeah.
Bam, talking about this.
They can also set it up though, sorry. We have a team calendar that I see everyone stuff in, the majority of stuff, but I add my team to everything that I put in. And then I can set the default. If I have like for my kid at the vet appointment, I'll put it in our blue light calendar, but then I can default to private. So any of the stuff they have, you don't have to have it
Do
visible to
you still
everybody.
see it time blocked?
I see my stuff if I
Now,
have
if
it.
anything private that you put, do they see it as like, oh, Nikki has a private appointment at this
No.
time?
It should just be like it's blocked off, but you
Yeah.
can't see why.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what they say on that end. I never
Yeah,
have,
okay.
But, maybe you can set like, so if they're concerned about privacy issues,
Yes,
whatever that thing is to private, and anything work related is just you add on.
Yep.
Roots and everywhere else needs to see it, you add them onto it. So they can see
I do that with Shannon too. If I have stuff I don't want him to see. Yeah, okay.
I have multiple calendars, personal work, family, husband and I only.
So Ruth, do you think that might be something you can ask?
I'll give it a shot. I'm just looking
mean-
for any creative ways to try and get people to report data to me, because otherwise I'm like, so what did you do last week? And they say, oh, stuff. And that's like the best data point that I can possibly get right now. You did stuff. I'm so proud of you.
And it's tough, right? Like, yes, you can add the calendar, but then you still have to go in and actually track that and take the data. So I know that there's still work for you to do.
Do you, like, right now, how do you track it? Like, we, as a team before, when we were tracking, we had a Google Doc or Google sheet, I think it was a sheet.
Google form.
Where, and it wasn't a form, it was their tracking mechanism, and we had a contest. We ran it for 3 months, and they did some great work with it that actually showed, depending what they wanted to track, number of calls, number of door knocks, number of people in cars. There's just a whole number of people put into command. There's a whole bunch of things they were tracking. And at the end of 3 months, they got a prize. And every week they would go in, put their own numbers in. But because it was a Google thing, it was shared with the admin. We could easily go in and pull what we needed. They had to go in by like 9 a.m. Monday morning to update their past week numbers so that we had it for our team meeting to discuss. So that could be an option if you, like, I can send you the template, see if it works.
Yeah, that would be great. If you could send me the template, that'd be awesome.
Sure, I'll share it with you.
Motivating them with a prize at the end might also get them in a happy, get them in a habit. Or a little trophy that says, that's it. Could threaten them, I know. I know.
We have our
Hey,
weekly meeting.
I have kids. I am not against bribery. Like that is a real thing. I will bribe them if I have to.
And we had accountability after our regular meeting, and then I do a follow-up phone call at the end of the week. But they got the habit of like, I need it today. You don't have it. If you're gonna do it together, or I'm gonna call you by end of day. You have till 4 o'clock to get it to me. And I mean, every threats. I didn't like threaten them with like bodily harm or anything, but they knew that they had to get it to me, or I'd be mad at them. And then that was enough.
That was
for them.
enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the admin.
Any other ideas for Ruth? We've got the tracker, Google Sheet. We've got the calendar sharing option.
Maybe it was a Google form that they just filled out every day.
No.
No? It's just a Google Sheet. Ruth, have you talked to Barb about the frustration you're having?
Oh yeah, it's a shared frustration, but the difference is the disc profile for me is the SC and she's the DI. So, we meet in the middle and then it leaves her brain and it stays in mine. So we continue to come back to it and then it just kind of goes like that.
Is it
So
something that
it's
she could have a conversation with the team members to make
for
it?
sure. Again, yeah, this is all like everybody knows. That's the thing. Everybody knows. It's just because I am the administrator and I'm the one with the higher SC there. It's up to me to figure it out or it will never get done. It goes, oh, that's a really great conversation about reporting. By the way, I have to go to an appointment now. So the priorities are also different, right? Like I'm trying to figure out a way to make it so that I have trackable data and it's more of a data-driven thing for me while they're out in action. So it's not a huge like point of contention for anybody. Nobody's getting mad about it or, those kind of things. It's just that I'm trying to make us better by tracking, data, and the data tracking is not, it's just not high on their priority lists. So anyways, we'll continue to meet in the middle of it, but if I can start bringing tools to try and help me. So yes, the Google Sheet would be very helpful. And then I will barter with Barb to see how much funding I can get out of her for prizes. So
Right, if it works. Okay. All right. Anybody else want to talk about anything that's challenging them right now? Their team lead, their admin. Oh, Tiffany, raise your hand.
Yes, I am having my command campaigns are driving me insane so we do a Facebook ad. But somehow now our listings are not being pulled over. So I cannot connect our listing to our Facebook ad. Now I know we can bypass it by picking another listing or whatever, but I don't want to keep bypassing it. I have tried to do things with Carlos, and he doesn't figure it out and then he wants me to make a video, but I'm also an admin who cannot do all these IT things when I'm trying to do listings or look after our appointments or whatever. So is anybody else having issues with their listings being pulled into our command?
First thing I'm gonna check right now is Bev and Doug's profile to make sure that their MLF ID is attached to their account.
Okay.
And Tiffany, to your point, I've given up on waiting for it to be pulled,
Mhm.
because it takes too long. It's same with like when it gets pulled into Realm. For me to grab those links and do what I need to do, I can easily go in, create a campaign, do another property, delete the property, put my information in and run it, and it still hasn't been pulled. So I just don't wait for it.
Okay, so you do just do the bypass and it doesn't seem to have any effect on anything, linking anything?
No, the hardest thing is you got to upload your own photos. So you just pick the ones you want and load them in. And
That's
Joe,
fine.
did you have any?
Right now, Dawn, we're actually having some trouble with our branding type of ads. So on our end, since we're just promoting our events through our paid ads in Command, that's the thing that we are running on a glitch right now. But in terms of pulling up listings, I believe, yes, we need to double check the MLS ID and in Command NC and as well if it's properly linked in your listings applet. But
Okay,
this
so I
could be-
checked that and understood their MLS IDs are all in their associate profile in Command MT. So we can rule that out. And then what's the next step that Tiffany can look at?
you may want to check, Tiffany, if some of your listings are being pulled properly. So if yes, it means it could be an isolated case and we can report it as a bug in KW support so that they can work on it back end. Yeah.
Okay, I will continue because I've been in contact with support and they keep saying, yep, things have been updated or whatever, but it's still not coming. Like I just posted a listing today. I'll give it 24 hours, but I am 95% sure it will not show up on my list tomorrow when I go to look.
Tiffany, have you worked with Carlos or Joby about this previously?
Yeah, I've been dealing with Carlos. He asked me to make a Loom video of all of my steps, which is on my list to do, but we have been like so busy for me to find a chance to sit aside for however long
Tiffany,
to make a video.
next Tuesday, March 25th, are you available to come to the office? Because Carlos is going to be here that day.
I will check actually, and I will talk to Bev and Doug because that would be great.
Yeah, yeah, so he'll be here that day. So if that's something that where he can just get on your computer and he can run the Loom for you and just get it done, he'll get it done like quickly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And have you reported it to KW ever?
Have I, sorry?
Have you reported the issue to KW?
I don't think so.
Okay, so there's no like ticket number,
Oh,
case number that you have?
Yes, sorry, I have been talking with KW support also.
Okay. Okay, so if you can forward a copy of that email to Joby and Carlos so that they can get the ticket number, they can also look into it further.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank
Okay,
you.
good. All right. Anything else, guys? Pain point, challenges? Team member issues? Structure, accountability? We know the accountability for reporting for Ruth is ongoing. Amy, what about you?
No, our team is pretty good. We actually meet weekly. We have what's called is an A+ lead list where between Dave and Trevor, they are either working on CMAs or there's potentials of buys, or if they're thinking about it. So we actually have that list that we speak about every week. And then we find out when their next follow-up date is, and we put that date in so that we make sure, or that between me mostly, is I make sure come that next team meeting if they spoke with them or not. If not, then they have to get on the phone that day with that lead. So we're pretty good with the accountability side of things. I mean, like Trevor, I have to worry about, which they're pretty good with stuff. So.
So everything hunky-dory in your world.
So far.
Caitlin, what about you? Do you have any issues going on, concern?
I just saw Ruth raise, or do you have something to say, Ruth, regards to that? I just saw her raise her hand.
No, actually,
Okay.
I actually had another topic to ask about, so ask your question and then just let me know.
Yeah, I don't really have, I know last week we struggled with an agent, and I think it's kind of our first time we've had with me an agent leave kind of in the middle of a deal coming out, like, you know, not knowing like irrevocable was till 9 p.m. that night. She was on a plane. We didn't know. She didn't do a good job of passing it off and letting the team know who she was passing it off to, kind of the other agent. So I think, is there any steps, or I guess, I don't know, a process you guys go to when an agent's passing it off to another agent? Any info along that? Because she's kind of gone for a week in Mexico with not much communication with us. And I know it was a lease and it was irrevocable till 9 p.m. And it was like me the next day going, was it accepted? Was it not? What's happening with this? And having to track down a couple of different agents to figure out who she had left it with and all that fun stuff.
Is it an agent in your brokerage?
It's an agent in our team. So we have 9 agents and myself. So she had just left it. I found through the team lead. Again, it was just like, I think with her coming back in our next team meeting, just talking about like a process of like, when you leave, can you email me and the team lead to like any deals you have on the go? Any, like, who are you leaving it with? Here's the contact of the agent who's this deal is going with. Like, it's just, it was kind of left with a bunch of us kind of trying to figure out where it was left.
Has this agent done this in the past? Like, is this a consistent issue?
No, I would say this was probably like, it was her first like vacation that she had taken since being on the team. So I think it was a good learning experience, but I think it would be good as a team for us to kind of go through kind of a process of what happens when an agent goes on holiday or whatever, isn't available, has a day off, like whatever it is, like, and if there's something to be left, like, what's our process moving forward, to letting the team know, or at least me and with the team lead know, where's everything kind of left at. Because I had asked her the day before, knowing that she had a lease irrevocable till the next day and she was getting on a plane, like, can you give me the agent's number? Who are you leaving this with? And it just, she never kind of did that. So it was me kind of going, what's happening on that Thursday.
What do you guys do? Mary, I'm sure you guys have that in place.
Well, yeah, when our agents go, they actually pick an agent to cover their business. We encourage them and tell them that they should do like an email or a list or something. Who do you have in the car?
Yeah.
You know, who's your A leads, your B leads, your C leads that we're going to have to handful while you're gone. Obviously, as the admin, we know what deals are coming and going because we do a lot of work on them. But they should be leaving that a day or two before they go. If they don't, then, well, sucks to be you. Like, really, they need to be accountable. So it's just making sure you put that into effect, and they should follow it.
And then do they also reach out to the clients that they're actively dealing with?
It depends on the agent. Some of my agents, I'm not going to name names, don't want anybody to know they're on vacation or they're out of town or they're doing whatever, for whatever
Still answer
reason.
their phone?
Because we still answer their phone. If it's urgent and we need to get in touch with the agent, usually wherever they are, we can get in touch with them. So we're answering their calls. We'll say they're not in the office right now. What can I help you with? Or like, we do cover their ass as much as possible. But if the other agent, they don't care. Tell them I'm on vacation. I have a team. So-and-so's in charge. Like, so it just depends who's left and how we work with that person.
Now I know Mary, yours is unique because your direct lines all go to you and stuff, but I know in some agent cases, Solo agents particularly, if they get another agent to cover their business, they'll also tell front desk, because in Broker Bay, we can program it. So we know, okay, Roger's out of the office, all calls are going to go to Billy in Roger's absence. So there's that option as well, but not knowing, like Mary has a direct line and all of their clients call Mary.
Most of the time, some of them still use the main line coming in.
They do,
So when our agents leave, and I know, like, if say Tracy goes on vacation, our team lead, and Kayla is looking after her business, we will go into Broker Bay. And we
Okay.
will, just in case, because again, we're only there 9 to 5.
Yeah,
I don't want to get involved in anything after
True.
hours unless I have.
Yep.
So we will make sure that all calls are forwarded to that agent if they
Perfect.
call specifically for the agent away.
yeah. And the after hours service, because they have full access to our entire Broker Bay system. So even if they get a call after hours, they know, don't page Roger, page Billy, because it's all in that profile. Okay. So I don't know if any of that has helped, Caitlin.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it is. I didn't realize that we could do that in Broker Bay. Like we don't have like our agents all have their own phones. I don't take any of the phone calls. So it would be up to them to let, their client know that I'm away. And if they have a problem with that, then I guess, again, like the communication, I think is what just was lacking a lot in this from the agent, but it's a good learning experience for all of us. Like, again, nothing major happened while she's been gone. So it hasn't been like crazy. Pardon?
She had the irrevocable.
She did, yes, but we found out that it didn't go through. So, and the other agent, I did find out that she was working, she had contacted the client. And so it's all been smoothed over, but I'm just thinking like, I feel like this could have been dealt with a lot better next time.
Okay.
With agents who have only used their personal phones, we have some agents who have a personal phone and then a business cell phone. So they have two different numbers, and they will actually, when they go away, take that business phone and forward it to our direct line. So anybody calling their cell automatically comes to us. Sometimes it confuses me and like, what's going on?
Is it literally like they have physically one phone, but it's programmed for two phone numbers?
I think, but this agent has two separate phones.
Oh, okay.
That's the only way that they can.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, what?
But yeah, that is possible to just make it come direct.
Mhm. Okay.
But then some of our agents don't even know that it's
Right.
No, some of them don't even know we have a phone, so they just call my cell phone all the time.
Yeah. Okay. Ruth, anything else that you guys are being challenged with that you want to go over?
It was actually just, it's more about the zeitgeist of the time right now. So Trump tariffs, stimulus packages, so on and so forth. How are you guys informing your clients, or how are your agents getting you to do their marketing about all of this? Are you doubling down on like direct mail? Are you doing more ad campaigns on Facebook, Instagram, mass emails? Like, what is it that you guys are doing to try and, get business going for your agents? Because we're finding here in our area that everyone's gone, nope, we're just going to sit here and wait. It's like the beginning of COVID again, where everyone said, I'm not doing anything until I know everything. And it changes so frequently that we're finding it difficult to keep up. So I would just love to hear what everybody else is doing on their marketing fronts for this fun little period of time we're in.
Tara, okay. Have you guys started to communicate with your clients about anything to do with tariff?
My agent, I don't get my hands in that. My
That's okay, yeah, your agents. So,
I
okay,
do
so
all
your
that.
agents are.
Yeah.
And where are they getting the resources, or are they just, hey guys, don't get afraid? Like, are they trying the approach to educate the clients, or what approach are they taking?
I believe so. I don't know. They figure that all themselves. They go do it themselves. I'm not part of it at all.
I think for us, that they're starting to make their calls again, not quite like COVID time, but they are starting to reach out. How are things going? How are you feeling? Yeah, the board calls and that, just to touch base and kind of going the aspect more of, are you coming to for mortgage renewal, because a lot of our clients be at the 5-year mark and they're not sure what they want to do. And then again, to try to educate them, and we have specialists that they can reach out to, you know, how can we help you? Not necessarily get business, but how can we help you help yourself? And then if we get business out of it, that's a good thing. Like, that's what they want to do. You know, and we do put the odd article in our newsletter, you know, that we can grab that we vetted to do with the tariffs and stuff again. And
So a link that you can send to them and they go
Absolutely.
elsewhere to.
yeah, if they choose to click it. So
It's definitely focusing on the more personal touches as opposed to just setting out campaigns or mail drops. We're more so focusing on calling our people who are already in our database and making sure they're touching everybody and personally talking to them.
Working on the
More
relationship side.
Exactly.
that way.
if that's what the clients want.
Throwing it out there.
Know that somebody cares.
Exactly.
Not, I just want your business. It's more about, hey, what do you need? What can I do for you?
Okay, sometimes it's just a quick call, you know, however the kids, and because they've got connection, hopefully they remember what they were like when they did business 3 years ago. And
Mhm.
this isn't the first call out of the blue, but.
Yeah. Okay. Krista, what are your clients, your agents that you're supporting? Do you know if they're doing anything around tariffs right now?
No idea.
Okay.
If I put it in the newsletter, that's all they get, but I know, but I don't. They're going on what the market's telling them.
Are you creating newsletters, like the content, or do they give you the
No,
content?
I create them.
Okay, so have you been adding in articles about tariff?
I did for February, yeah.
Where did you grab your article from?
Yeah,
Oh, good.
I proofread it to make sure it's relevant to Canada and stuff, but
Okay.
yeah, try to keep it neutral, so it doesn't go one way or the other, or it doesn't.
Mhm.
I don't add their political views.
Right. Of course.
And so
You're a
like,
little bit of-
in there, and then you can go through and see what the sources are,
Yeah.
what websites are going
Yeah.
from, because they're like, see, you're like.
You have to be careful because some of the websites are pulling from other agents, and I don't
Yeah.
necessarily trust those
Yeah.
agents.
I've noticed that.
You have to be careful.
Here, what about Haroon? What's he
He
doing?
does all of his own research and stuff. He did a video last week on it, but I don't know where.
Did he post that on, like, publicly, I mean? Okay.
We'll post it on Facebook, Instagram, and it gets better. We do a weekly, yes, we do a weekly newsletter, but I don't have any,
Mhm. Involvement in
no,
it.
he
Yeah.
just does the video and sends it, his wife sends it to me, and just,
It's done.
I push it out. No
Did he
questions.
get any, so when he did that, did he get any responses from people?
I don't know,
asking
because it will go
questions?
directly to him. If it's
Okay.
on social media, I don't like read his messages because he does personal stuff. in his
Right.
media.
Okay,
So I have access to them, but I don't ever open any of his things because he does talk to people and his family and stuff, so I have no idea.
okay. Tiffany, what about you guys? Are you guys doing anything about the tariffs? Have you been in communication with your people? Are you doing client events around, just an info session?
So Doug is really active in the KWE meetings. He really goes to a lot of those when they are being held.
Are you there,
But
Tiffany?
yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Showing that she's talking.
She might have been disconnected now.
Tiffany, you're on mute now.
Can you hear me?
Amy, can you hear Tiffany talk? You know what that? Okay.
Anybody else talk?
I can hear everybody.
Okay, let me take.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's our phone.
Can't hear anything.
Sorry, Amy, can you guys hear me now?
Now we
Yes.
can.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Tiffany, can you go back to what you were saying about Doug?
Yeah, he is. So he's actively joining the KW energy meetings. He goes to pretty much all of them that are held at the Oshawa office. So I think that's how he's sort of staying in the loop. And we send out a monthly market update. So he writes an article on the market, and then he's also been including sort of information and I guess his perspective on what could potentially or what people are saying, perspective on that. And then he does a video in that same email. So if people don't want to read, he has a video. So we've been doing that. Bev and Doug have recently started, just at the end of last year, they started a new coaching course. So we are finding like pretty good success with it. It's focusing on a lot more personal things that we're sending out. So we've started doing birthday cookies. Currently, Bev's delivering them. Starting next month, we're going to have someone else deliver them. So all of our past clients we're delivering cookies, and like the phone calls that are coming in about them are crazy. It's wonderful. And then we started sending out magnets. So of people's houses. So if they bought them in 2018, it's a picture of that house from 2018. And not much branding on it. It's more personal, and a letter signed by Bev and Doug. So we've been doing a lot more personal things for our past clients, trying to get those referrals up. And we have had a crazy February. I think they've done like 8 deals in February.
Good.
Yeah. So
Now, did you guys change this approach because of the tariffs to be in a different relationship with your clients, or were they completely two separate?
I think it's 2 separate. Maybe I just went off on a little.
No, and that's okay.
That way.
That's okay.
But for tariffs, like Doug will always talk to them. Doug's our engineer brain. He's our numbers guy. Like those questions come up. He's great with our clients. He's calming and he's knowledgeable on that stuff.
Yeah.
So he's just our main guy that talks to all of our clients about it.
I think it's fair to say Doug is not your typical high D real estate agent. So I can see him taking that kind of approach.
Yes.
Okay.
And he's very neutral when it comes to the political side. He just more touches on this. We don't have a crystal ball, but this is what could happen. But he just stays in the loop for everything.
Did they recently do a Bank of Canada update rate? Was it last week? Did they change the rates at all?
They dropped it.
Was it 0.25?
Yes.
Then the US stayed the same yesterday. And now they're predicting that we're frozen.
That were frozen? Like at COVID, everything stopped for a while until.
Yeah, I think they said that initially it was like an 80% chance in April that they're going to drop another 0.25 or 0.5 depending. And then when the employment rates and stuff come out, they said, that right now it's way too high and it looks like probably 30% chance they may drop again, but they're not.
When's the next one, June?
April 15th.
Oh, April 15th. Is it every single month or do they have like?
It's almost every month.
Oh, okay.
16. Yeah, there's none in May, there's one early. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Amy, what about you guys? Have you guys been, or your agents been talking about tariffs and the impact and how to prepare or anything?
Yeah, so we recently did a buyer seller consult presentation / I guess you could call it mini event for some clients who were potentially thinking about buying, selling, and or doing both. David and Trevor touched a little bit on it about the presentation, but they tend to do more of I send it from the team account. We do a monthly market update video that they do. Recently, I've had to take over the stuff that Shirley was doing for us now that she's retired. So I am now the one sending out our monthly e-newsletters to all the clients. So Dave usually does a blurb. We call it the newsletter blurb. And he usually includes something about where he thinks things might go or what we should be looking out for in the next month, or here's what we could be looking at next month. So, and Dave and Trevor both were doing calls yesterday out to clients. So I don't always listen into what they're saying, but I'm sure there is discussions about.
Okay. And then Caitlin, what about you guys? Are you guys focusing on the tariffs? You talking about it? Are you just kind of skimming over it?
We're just kind of skimming over it again. Like, I'm not in the conversations that the agents are having with clients. As far as I know, we haven't had too many questions about it. Yeah, we haven't dealt with it too much yet. We're obviously, aware of it and interested to kind of see what the market's going to do, because we are entering the spring market. We were just in a bidding war on Monday for a house. So it's interesting. Certain areas are definitely picking up and starting. So I think I think time will tell, kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, and we'd already talked to everybody here in the room about tariffs. That's right. Okay. Ruth, does that give you some ideas? I know it's hard. It wasn't a whole lot, but.
A lot of what we're hearing from our clients, is that everybody just doesn't want to do anything. They don't want to move. We focus in an area called Woodbine Park. Average price point in there is about 2.2. And we had something listed for 1,999, and we've had this many showings. So we're a little miffed on why it's happening, and what's happening. So I was just wanted to see if anybody else's clients were coming to them with questions on it, or they noticed that there was, a bit of pausing while people tried to figure out what their next logistical move would be based on, I don't know, buyer sentiment right now, because we're just kind of devoid of pretty much all activity in our area. So
I've noticed with our listings, there's little to no showings as well.
Little to no showings.
Yeah, and we're branded.
So what's going on? What do you guys think's going on then? Just, it's the uncertainty.
Yeah.
It's the fear, yeah. So why even bother?
Well, depending too, it's all the industries, right?
Gotta speak louder because I'm using, sorry.
We also know it's going to be the industries for the employment are going to be concerned.
Yes.
Either steel, aluminum, because they're already doing layoffs. Tracy's friend owns one of them in Hamilton. He's already started layoffs.
Wow, that's
We
fast.
also know at some point the auto is going to be hit. They're second in line.
Mhm.
And then we also know food and agriculture. It's
The food.
normal stuff like they're gonna be hit. So anybody in those industries are definitely going to be more fearful. And then everybody else who is watching the news every day. And I'm not saying you shouldn't, but you shouldn't.
Yeah.
So, you gotta take it with a grain of salt. So
Mhm.
just be careful.
Okay. Ruth, do you attend Tackle Tuesday at your office?
every week,
Has that been a topic? Has it been brought up in Tackle Tuesday?
every week.
Okay. Okay, good. So at least you guys
Every
are
week.
talking about it, and maybe next week, like, you're just gonna wait for somebody else to give some new ideas, I guess.
Everything keeps changing on such at a quick pace, especially, whoever's in charge down in the United States, they don't seem to have a clear path on what it is that they're
Whoever's
attempting
in
to do.
charge.
So we find that we're having to pivot like quite quickly with our clients' thought processes. And the buyer agents who are coming for any property that we have listed. We had one on in a small townhouse complex last week. We priced it with a marketing period for 5 days, and somebody gave us an offer prior to the marketing period being over at asking. And then we had a competing offer come in on that below asking. So it's like, oh, okay, we not what we expected in the slightest, but both sign backs were outright rejected at the sign back price. And again, we have a house that's $200,000 under area average listed, and there's just no activity. So I just wanted to know if people are doing anything in particular to I don't know, let their clients know that they're in this with them, and being being of the caring nature of, how you feeling. So we're doing the same thing. We're putting everything in our newsletters. Barb's big on social media, so she posts a lot on, the news as it comes along, but, reaching out to the people who might be deeper into our database that don't, aren't always following us on Instagram or Facebook, just wanted to know.
So I'll follow up with Jamie Lee. We did an event in February, near the end of the month. We had a mortgage specialist and one of our seasoned agents did a talk that ideally it was geared for agents to bring clients in to talk about tariffs and the impact and stuff. And this was before they were implemented, just to give that part one, how to prepare kind of thing. We were looking at doing a part two of that class that people can still bring their clients to now that the tariffs are live. What does this mean? So I know Jamie Lee is looking into bringing on an economist that can come in and talk. So her and Chris, I know, are talking because it was somebody that was at the Buzz conference that presented there, and it was very well done. So they're looking to see if we can get them to come in and do something like that. So I'll follow up with her on that and see where we're at with it. Is it going to be Google Meet? Is it going to be live anywhere? And if it is going to be directed where agents can bring clients, I think we need to know that sooner rather than later, so you guys can get your invites out ASAP and have them join. So I'll find out and see what we've got on that. Okay. If there's anything else, I'm happy to keep talking. Otherwise, I'd like to now pass it over to Ruth so she can talk about the panel opportunity and see if there's anybody that fits what Ruth is looking for. You good for us to move over? Yeah. Okay, Ruth, it's all you.
Okay, so really quick backstory. I was attending family reunion this year in Las Vegas. This would be my third family reunion. In past events and this year, as always being the SC that I am, I went to the events page prior to and we're looking at the courses to go through to pick out what it was that I was going to do. After having checked off the admin section, there are 4 courses that they offered this year, 2 of which were at the same time. So that's, I'm good, but I'm not that good. So I actually emailed Bill Soderov saying, look, this is insane. My agent is making a significant investment in me to go to this conference, and my time would be well wasted going to a door knocking seminar or a cold calling seminar, because those are not my primary objectives. They don't help with revenue generating activities for me. So what are we doing here, especially since the administrators are really the stems that hold up all of the flowers in this darn bouquet? So anyways, he asked me to meet up with him while we were in Las Vegas. I had about 5 minutes with him because, everybody wanted to talk to Bill anyways. He followed up with me after that, and we had about an hour-long conversation via Zoom. Getting to, learn a little bit more about my concerns. I've been doing real estate administration for about 20 years now. So, I at 3 different companies so far. And Keller Williams has always been the only one that focuses on education, but there's not enough for the administrators. So events like what we're doing today are super important because we never really get a chance to talk to each other. Otherwise, and I know most of us fall into the SC categories. Some of us have a little D in us, some have a little I, but we're not ones to, stomp our feet and raise hell if we're not getting what it is that we need. So I suggested to him that there has to be a different way for us to maybe get more voices for the administrators. I know that there is the ops community in the United States that's really big, and I don't know if anybody is a member of the ops community, but I don't, from what I know about it, is it's not as Canadian centric as would be useful for us, because they do things a little bit different past the 49th parallel. So anyways, so he's offered me a little section of time at the Drive and Thrive event that's coming up in April. I think it's April 23rd, not 28th. I think Carlos got that wrong in the email. And basically what it is that Bill has asked me to have a panel of admins on is to talk about what it is that we do, why it's important, and what it is that we want people to know about supporting their admins and making this administrative experience better for us, our agents, our rainmakers, our offices, and the company as a whole. So I've taken on this little conquest. I'm not sure how far it will go or what it'll turn into, but I'm trying to invite the operations community in Canada, at least, starting with our 3 offices, to, join me in trying to make this more of a space where we can learn and grow at the same pace and intensity as our agents, because a lot of us have chosen this as a career. Not all of us have aspirations to be realtors, even though we may have our licenses. And so, yeah, I'm just looking for other admins to, take 15, 20 minutes out of their days on April 23rd to come with me to this event and share a little bit about their life stories, how they got into real estate administration, what admin means to them, what they'd like to see their administrative career look like in 5 years, 10 years, that kind of stuff. So if anybody's interested, please email me. Again, I know that it is not necessarily in our personalities to want to be up on a stage. Quite frankly, I am scared shitless because it is not in my personality. I'm great in little groups like this, but in a room full of 1,000 people, I might sweat through my socks. So anyways, if anybody has any interest, please don't let me sit up on the stage by myself. So I think I have one from the Barrie office, from the For Sale on George and Bay team. I still have to reach out to her. But I need 3 other people, 2 to 3 other people. And if somebody wants to be our moderator, that would also be great. Dawn, I'm looking at you. Because you're great at running these meetings. Anyways, so that's my spiel. And if anybody would like to join me on this crusade, maybe not on stage, but join me in this crusade of making the administrative career a more educational and fulfilling one through, banding together, I would be more than pleased to hear what it is that you have to say. Because right now we have an advocate voice with Bill and me. Yep. So if we can advocate for ourselves, I think we should, because.
And Bill will advocate for us. I have seen it. Yeah. It will happen, but you're right. We just need that information to get to him appropriately, and then he'll go and he'll dig into it. So, okay, so maybe I misunderstood. Do you need our admins to be on a team that is using Command at a high level? Because there's been a few that have asked.
Yeah, so I know Carlos sent out that email and he didn't review it past me before it went. But yes, if you're using Command at a high level, like, that's awesome. Because I think that would be a huge value add to be able to talk about, taking a system that was given to us that is completely and utterly admin unfriendly. Mm-hmm. I think we can almost all agree on that one. When I was in Las Vegas, I went to the Command booth and I asked them to get a pen and paper, and I pulled out my notebook with the pen and paper saying, here's everything we need to talk about. I haven't heard from anybody, and that's fine. But I'm hell-bent on.
Can you send me a photo of your notebook with your list?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. I'm hell-bent on just trying to improve the administrative experience when it comes to the Keller Williams as a whole, maybe recognizing that we are as important as maybe, the people who are, top producer, so on and so forth, because my analogy before of being the stems that hold up the flower is not a joke. No. We never really seek the sunlight, but without us, those flowers are not really able to reach the sun. So I'm
so if somebody's on a team and they don't use Command at a high level, is that okay too?
Totally fine.
Perfect. Okay, because I've had a couple people show interest and they're like, but I don't use Command. And I'm like,
no, that's fine. It's totally fine. I'm just looking for people to share their experiences as administrators, share what they feel administration means to them, means to their agents, how it fits into their life story. Bill is big on life stories, and what he calls future self. So, you know, where you can see your administrative career going in 5 years. Is it a big plan? Is it a little plan? You know, that kind of stuff. I'm looking for admins that run with a single agent. I'm looking for mega team administrators. I don't care if you're a listing coordinator or a closing coordinator, client care operation, doesn't matter. If you do real estate administration, I want to talk to you.
Hey. All right, well, we're recording this call, so I'm gonna get Joby to send me the recording. And I'll send the recording out to everybody, even though you're not in the room. I'll highlight to go at that last 10-minute mark of the video to get your sales pitch on what you're looking for. And honestly, guys, I think it's a great opportunity. I know being on stage is scary, but imagine how it will feel if you can contribute to changing the story, fighting for what we need, or not what I need, what you guys need, and then seeing that change happen, right? It's not going to happen if we're not speaking up. So we can do it.
Yeah, believe me, and sending an email to the head of Keller Williams International, who is Bill Soderog. I chat GTP'd that thing so many times to make sure that it sounded okay, and not that I was coming from a place of anger or frustration, just more of concern. I ran it past my husband. I ran it past Barb. I ran it through ChatGPT like 3 times, being like, I don't want to make him angry, thinking that I'm angry. I've been in this career for 20 years. I have a teaching degree. I have an English degree. I have like 3 different degrees, but I chose real estate because I love administration. I'm one of those crazy people. I like paperwork. I like doing the marketing. I like doing all the stupid stuff that the agents go, oh, I'd rather chew glass than do. But I just know that when
Jamie Lee at Family Reunion was actually asked to sit on a mastermind with Gary Keller, and there was literally only of 800 market centers, I think there were 25 OPs, and Jamie Lee was invited to that. And the biggest topic that Gary talked to them about was, what do we need to change at the market centers to make it better? Want our agents to stay, want our agents to join. There was also a separate MCA meeting with head people at KW, like Chris Cox is the head of technology, and they met with the Canadian MCAs. From what I'm hearing, they want to make change, but they're not necessarily going to know what that's going to look like. So they need to hear from us. So I'm confident that Bill will take the feedback. We need the voices. So consider it. Reach out to Ruth. And then Ruth, do you want to type up a better explanation of what you're looking for versus what Carlos had created? Because then I can resend that out to everybody, and maybe those that read that version will be a little more understanding on what you're looking for. And honestly, even going to that event for the day too, like that in itself is an amazing experience. I think the tickets are over $300 a person. Like, it's a good day. Yeah, you'll talk for a few minutes, and then you'll be able to absorb everything else that there's there.
Then you can melt back into the back wall of the place. I promise. Like I won't make you do anything crazy. It just and I have a couple of plans to try and create like a Canadian ops community. So starting with the province of Ontario, I know that there's a whole whackload of KWs around here. So I'm going to try it via Facebook, I think, first, and see if we can maybe just build our own little army of administrators so that we can advocate for ourselves a little
help
louder.
you in any way with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you let me know. I'll do what I can as well. I can reach out to some of the MCAs in the other offices and see what we can do.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions before we convene? No? Okay, so takeaways. I will send out an email with our topics for the year so we know in advance what everybody's doing. I will arrange with Carlos and Joby for the command class that we're going to do. Ruth is going to give us an updated email description on the panel and what she's looking for. Tiffany, I've written down the command campaign issues that you're having. If you can send us the ticket number to Carlos, myself, and Joby, so that can get looked into as well. The command reporting, Ruth, did you have a ticket with anybody at KW?
I did, and then they just nonchalantly closed it.
Can you send us the ticket number as well on that so they can reopen it and we can look into that further? Amy, I'll check your command access, change you to Rainmaker to see if that has any impact on what you're trying to do with that. And I will follow up with Jamie Lee about the Economist and if we're going to do that part 2 tariff conversation. And I think those are my takeaways. Is there anything I'm missing? No, anything you guys need, let me know. Joby, when we get the recording, I'll also pop it into the Google Drive. So again, everybody has it. The Google Sheet that you're going to offer up to Ruth, are you comfortable with sharing that in the Google Drive? Obviously take out the data or a copy of.
Well, yeah, I'm just gonna ask her what email she wants me to share it to, because it is a Google Sheet.
Okay, do you want to just pop it in the Google Drive for the admins that we have? Okay, and then in the email when I send out for the dates, I can also refer back to this document. Okay.
Are you able to resend me the Google Drive?
Yep, I'll put, yeah, when I send out the email to everybody, I'll make sure to, here's a reminder of our WhatsApp chat, here's a reminder of our Google Drive. I will connect with the MCAs in Toronto and Barrie and make sure that you guys also get the same information. Excuse me. And what else? Anything else? Nope. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. I'm excited for this year. We got some new topics. I think that'll be interesting. I'm really looking forward to the AI one, that's for sure. Yep. Cool. Okay. Well, have a great day and we'll see you all next month. Okay.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.